Practice 11 in the books for Nebraska. Hi, Sean Callahan for HuskerOnline.com. I had a chance to talk with head coach Scott Frost here following practice, as well as defensive coordinator Erik Chinander, and kind of a different tune from both guys. Let's first start with Scott Frost, who said it may have been one of the best, if not the best, practices he's been a part of since his time at Nebraska.
We've had a couple little lulls. Maybe the defense didn't come out with quite the same intensity today as they did earlier on in spring, but they found it. Last year, the drop-off happened quick. It was 3 or 4 practices, and then they, I think, kind of reverted back to their practice habits, and it didn't look very good. We just continue to be on the rise now. I think today is probably overall the best practice I've been a part of at Nebraska.
Particularly, Frost praised the play of quarterback Adrian Martinez.
Yeah, our quarterback group looks light years ahead of where it was, too. Adrian might have had his best day I've seen him have today. He made some big-time plays today, but behind him, all those guys have gotten better. And the quarterback room looks to be in a lot better shape right now than it did the same time last year. Noah's playing well. Bunchy's getting better, Master's getting better, and Luke McCaffrey's done some really good things coming in. So hopefully there's a lot of guys in that room that we can count on to go in and win a game for us.
However, one player we didn't see here at practice on Wednesday was wide receiver J.D. Spielman, and running back Maurice Washington, Frost said, remains limited in practice.
Maurice didn't practice today. I told you guys he'd be a limited participant and nothing to report. He just didn't practice today. J.D. is a little banged up, and we're trying to protect him. Cam's working through some academic issues right now.
However, defensive coordinator Erik Chinander had a different tone when it came to practice. He said there were a lot of things that he wanted to see improvements on after Wednesday.
No, we lost the competition period, right? We lost by 1. We came out, got punched in the mouth a little bit, which was awesome for us. A little slice of humble pie. I don't think they were ready to play. I didn't like their attitude. I didn't like the first day. We had a little breakdown in communication, but that's good for us. We need to get that thing fixed, and taking nothing away from the offense. They went out and executed today on a higher level than we did. They had some good stuff. Adrian made some plays, but being a defensive guy, anytime we walk out on the field, it ain't about them, it's about us. And today, we didn't have enough.
Particularly, Chinander called out the guys in the secondary, saying he wants to see more from this group because the competition coming in is going to push them in August.
If I was one of those DBs, I don't know what they think, but if I was one of those guys, I wouldn't feel very safe right now. Anybody. Because I don't think anybody's got a job. I don't care if it's Lamar, who's been a 3-year starter, or DiCaprio, who's pass breakup guy, or your Deontay. None of those guys better be safe right now, because there's a good push coming, and there's a lot of young guys coming in.
We had a chance to talk to several guys on the defensive line here on Wednesday. Damian Daniels is one of those players hoping to make a big jump this spring.
After the first season of me playing, I feel like I know what the coaches expect, and like for me to go out there and try to put everything together and execute and perfect my craft is something that I'm really focusing on this spring.
I think he can be a really good football player. I think he's a guy that commands 4 hands. I don't think you can single block him. He can control A-gap to A-gap, and in our 3-4 scheme, you got to have that type of player. So, the sky's the limit for him, and there's a place for big guys like that. On the defense, especially when you want to stop the run, you want to have guys like that, and it's hard to find those guys. Not only the skill set that he has, but the mentality. Like, he is a tough, true alpha male guy, and so him and his brother are the same way. So I feel like we're very blessed to have those 2 brothers on our team, really, as a nose guard.
Like, my weight is a big thing, so trying to watch what I eat and basically condition and go harder every play, every day.
And not only have we seen some big gains from Damian Daniels, he's also added his brother Darian Daniels to the mix, and that's created some pretty interesting moments in the locker room, according to defensive line coach Tony Tuioti.
Oh, there's definitely a switch in those guys for sure. Damian, he's like a big teddy bear, And then yesterday he was in meetings, and for some reason he was a little bit grumpy, so he had a little chip on his shoulder because his brother sat in his chair, So he wanted to have his chair, and his brother wouldn't give it to him. So I'm sitting there watching 2 brothers argue, and so he was in a bad mood the rest of the day. So he's got to switch. Oh yeah, they got it.
After taking a red shirt in 2018, DeAndre Thomas said he has seen his weight get up to 300 pounds, and he said this spring for him is big to get back in the rotation.
I've always kind of been confident, but now that I'm way bigger, I'm more confident. I can trust myself. I mean, I'm big, I'm strong, I can trust myself. I weigh about the same as the offensive line, so I'm real confident.
And maybe the biggest thing for the defense this spring has been the continuity for guys like DiCaprio Boodle. They have the same position coach, the same coordinator for the second spring in a row, and you're like, yeah, that should be the normal. It hasn't been the norm at Nebraska, as we know, as there have been several coaching changes made over the last few years.
It's helped a lot because personally, you know, after every fall, I'd have a new guy in the following spring. And I'd have to learn, you know, the new techniques that they want us to use, the new ways to play, basically the same coverages, a lot of the same coverages, but I'd have to learn new ways to play it. Had to learn, you know, just have to learn new coaches, their philosophies, and you know how they feel about the game, how they want me to play, and you know, just having the same thing from last year to this year, this is really helping. You know, a lot of the stuff that Coach Fisher says, you know, that he taught me last year, it helped me a lot. But you know, now we're trying to take that next step into, you know, even more advanced things, even just growing my mind in the game. And you know, it's really helped me. I really like it.
And finally, how can we not ask Scott Frost about the hiring of Fred Hoiberg here on Tuesday?
I don't know. I'd be flattered if there was comparisons because I think he was a heck of an athlete and he's a heck of a coach. So I don't know. I'll let other people draw parallels. I'm just excited to have him. You know, I was really good friends with Tim. I think he did some really good things here, and but I'm also really excited about the future with Fred. And you know, we're going to be on a similar track, trying to get these two programs to where they belong, and I can't wait to watch them work.
The Huskers are back to work on Friday for spring practice number 12. Reporting with the Nebraska football team in Lincoln, I'm Sean Callahan of HuskerOnline.com.